All right, everyone, welcome again to this session. So I'll say, what if data is not stored, processed, or transmitted when PCI DSS applies? It said, even if an organization does not store, process, or transmit cardholder data directly, PCI DSS might still apply, right? This is because PCI DSS also cover aspect of third-party vendors that manages cardholder data, as well as physical media that might store data like paper records, physical data, you see? So do you see? I don't know if you guys are able to regularly like assimilate, understand all these core regulatory frameworks and to see how serious it is, right? So, not even talking about third-party vendor, but even physical media that might also store data like in paper records. If you have to store that data, then PCI DSS applies. So, but what does it mean? Third-party providers who handle cardholder data on behalf of an organization must adhere to PCI DSS. Those are your vendors, right? Even if they're not doing, they have to adhere to PCI DSS requirement. Even if the organization itself doesn't directly store, process, or transmit the cardholder data. So if you don't do, you are associating SaaS environment 100%, where the vendors or your vendors are the one doing that for you, but they have to be in compliance with PCI DSS. PCI DSS mandate that organization ensure their third-party service comply with security requirement of PCI DSS. If these third parties handle cardholder data, the organization must ensure appropriate contracts, audits, and ongoing monitoring of these providers. As I said, and that's one reason that you also find third-party vendor risk jobs always being there, because think of all the hundred thousands of vendors that organization will have. And though you onboarded those vendors, you also have to go through the common, like continuous monitoring, making sure that they have best security practices in place, right? Example, organization X does not store any cardholder data itself, but associates its payment processes to a third-party payment gateway, right? And you guys, right now, I think we had a video where we talk of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So you need to start understanding when we're talking about outsourcing, what kind of service is it? Is it shared? Is it 100% outsourcing? That suffice. So make sure you go, I think it's a categorization video we have on our website that you can watch, right? The payment gateway stores, processing, and transmit cardholder data during transaction when PCI DSS required, even though organization X does not handle cardholder data directly. Requirement 11 of PCI DSS require that organization X ensure that the payment gateway is compliant with PCI DSS. Organization X will review the contract with the payment gateway to ensure they are PCI DSS compliant. Do you see? Even though this is something that we've covered already. And do you see? Organization X does not store payment gateway, store, process, and transmit cardholder data. Though PCI, the organization doesn't store, but requirement X also ensures that the payment gateway is compliant with PCI DSS. Action taken, review contract with payment gateway to ensure PCI DSS compliant. Regular audits and assessment are conducted to verify that the gateway follows PCI DSS controls such as encryption as well as access controls, right? So, and as I said earlier, these are not things that you will do after you've onboarded your vendors. No, before you even bring in that person, before, and that's why we start talking of contract. And then you always fall back on that contract because a lot of stuff must have been incorporated into the contract. Make sure that all security aspects are being covered, right? But we also make mention of media, physical media. What does it mean? Physical media refers to any physical form of storage that contains cardholder data, such as paper records, magnetic tapes, CDs, or any other non-digital storage. PCI DSS address how physical media should be stored, protected, as well as disposed of to prevent any unauthorized access or loss of cardholder data. Requirement 9 of the PCI DSS. PCI DSS outlined the requirement for securing physical media and properly disposing of it when it is no longer needed, such as shredding papers, documents containing cardholder data. Do you see? And this is also a good way. Some of you, when you receive some of these junk emails, how do you get disposed? How do you dispose them? Do you just, put it in your bin? I've had friends who just trade bin, and before I realized this, they were victim of identity theft. So something like that, you also want to have a shredder that you should be able to shred stuff like that, right? Example of physical media, say company Y stuff papers record that contain cardholder data for transaction records. The company does not store digital data digitally or transmit it through electronic means, but it maintains physical copies of the data for auditing purposes. You see? Yeah, so just the fact that they definitely maintain physical copy of those data, even though company Y does not store, process, or transmit data electronically, it is still required to protect and dispose of the physical media containing cardholder data securely. Action taken, company Y must implement procedure to securely store the paper record, such as keeping them in a locked file cabinet room. When the records are no longer needed, they must properly dispose of. And if you have to get that where you are storing it, physical storage, then you also need to specify your retention period. It's not just about logical, right? How long are you going to keep that? And that's why they said that when those files are no longer needed, make sure that they are properly destroyed. That way it cannot be retrieved by an unauthorized individuals. Do you see how powerful this thing is? So what PCI DSS requirement, and this is exactly what we've covered. Do you see you have this in a secure paper records room? And if you do not need it, then get a shredder and make sure they are properly disposed or destroyed to prevent unauthorized individual from retrieving this information. Okay. So why PCI still apply? Security of cardholder data. Even if data is not stored, processed, or transmitted electronically, PCI DSS applies to any form of cardholder data to ensure its security throughout a life cycle, including during storage, physical or electronic, as well as disposal. The involvement of third-party vendors means that organizations are still responsible for ensuring that the vendors follow PCI DSS guidelines, as their actions could affect the security of cardholder data. What's the takeaway? Third-party service provider, even if your organization doesn't store or process cardholder data, PCI DSS applies if third parties are handling that data, and this solely aligned with requirement 12, or otherwise, in the case of a physical storage, PCI DSS requirement 11 also ensures that organizations securely stored, hard copies and also destroy or dispose of them when they are no longer needed. The next one, we will talk about PCI DSS incident response plan, what it entails and what it look like. And I will definitely see you on the next video.